French horn player is Curt Valenga. Curt, I know that you do a lot of subbing for the Kansas City Symphony. You're one of our preferred customers. You also play with the opera. Is that correct?
Yep.
And all sorts of stuff. Curt really does a lot of playing around town here. We're actually in his studio right now, as well as being a horn player. He's a percussionist. So Curt's a great instructor. Also a professor of horn at Washburn University. So this is the Kruspe French horn that we were telling you guys about a little bit earlier. We're going to just get fresh perspective. I just handed this horn to Curt, and we'll let him ask me any questions, and then we'll ask that he share any of his knowledge of Kruspe or anything that he's got. Actually, it would probably be make a lot of sense if you shared the equipment that you play on right now, just so they know kind of where you're coming from.
Sure. Well, I currently play a Lewis, mainly, made by Steve Lewis in Chicago. But I used to play an 8D. I'm very familiar with Elkhart 8Ds, and I've got a Rico Kuhn triple and a natural horn and all kinds of stuff. So I play a lot of different horns. I've played a few of these before,
okay,
as well as some old C.F. Schmidts and stuff like that. So I'm pretty familiar with these horns. I haven't played a note on this one yet, so we'll see what.
Yeah. What's your your general? We're doing a lot of research on this horn. Kind of the point of our podcast is going to be to inform people about different, cool vintage instruments that come in.
Sure.
But just why don't you point out from a player's perspective anything that you see that might be unique about this instrument?
Well, you've got the garland on the bell, the crayons on the bell, which helps it keep its focus when you're playing really loud, this reinforcement here. Otherwise, the bell is extremely thin and very fragile, and it's really rare to see a horn this age where the bell hasn't been really, really damaged. So I'm liking the looks of the bell a lot, actually, and it's completely original and everything. The valves feel nice and tight. Which again, I mean, this horn probably is approaching 100 years old, and it feels pretty good to me.
Yep.
I don't know if we have any little bit of a pop there.
Yeah.
But a lot of guys that play these horns, they like the valves to be loose anyway. These were always interesting. These really old ones had the squared off tuning slides.
Yeah, good point.
Which they didn't do later on. So all the tuning slides have the bends are a little bit sharper in them, and of course the reversed thumb valve where the mechanism is in the front.
Yeah, we'll go into a little bit of detail with photographs and stuff and explain that for you guys watching this.
Yep. So
real cool. Now, as I pointed out in the intro on this, the lead pipe does have quite a few patches on it, which is, I would say, normal for a horn that age. In your experience, what would you say about that?
Well, on horns from this era, a lot of people think that you don't want to see patches, but what a lot of people don't realize is a lot of these patches are original. They used to, when they would make the horn, they knew where the common areas of wear would be, like where your hand goes,
sure,
in here where your
your
thumb rubs.
Try to get a close-up on that, but or it might be hard. I might do a picture of that later, but sure. Yeah, there's a patch on the bell rivet.
Yeah, and in fact, a lot of them you'll see patches up here and stuff, and it turns some people off, but a lot of those are original and are there not to cover up damage, but to prevent damage. So it's hard to say. I'm pretty sure that the one by the thumb is original, and I'm not sure about this down here, but I think it's important that it does have the original lead pipe with the original receiver, because that's what makes these old Kruspes play and sound the way they do. We call it, these horns have the gravy. They have gravy in the sound, and it comes from the original lead pipe. If you put a new lead pipe on it, it's not going to be the same.
Sure.
So.
All right. Well, without further ado, and I know that your chops may be tired from a long day of teaching, but
maybe.
I'm curious to hear a few notes on this bad boy.
Yeah, I might give it a try here. And you guys haven't done anything to this yet?
At this point, this horn is as we got it in the shop. We haven't touched it.
That's amazing. All right. Well, here we go. No promises.
All right.
I like it.
Cool.
I like it a lot. The thumb can be a little awkward because of this reversal.
Sure.
And you can have it customized to function a little bit better. But this is actually one of the better ones that I've felt.
Cool.
Some of them are extremely awkward. And these horns are really famous for having bad notes, wolf notes, where no matter how hard you try, there's certain notes that just won't work, and usually in the high range. This one feels good to me. This is which is very rare. It feels all totally solid.
Awesome, awesome. Well, for those podcast viewers here, the Horncast, I should say, Curt is definitely one of, like I was saying, one of our preferred customers. We definitely intend on having a full-out interview with him in a later episode. So we'll definitely have to have you maybe into the shop and have you play get a little bit more comfortable with that, and then we'll try to get some excerpts out of this instrument just so you guys hear this instrument.
Sure.
So there it is. Again, thank you.